I have escaped again. I have left unsupervised, and this is what happens. It's sunny, it's cold, it's about 30 degrees, but the sun's out, and I've got a free day. I've been looking forward to this for some time. It's windy, it's cold, and we're just gonna go out for a nice drive. I have picked out a little barbecue restaurant somewhere in nowhere, Virginia. We may make it to, we may not. It depends on how I feel. And the direction we're heading, because I don't really have a plan, is we're heading west. Why west? East is not really an option because the Ford Explorer doesn't float. This morning when I told Miriam about my plans, she asked me if I was going to take my electrically heated vest, and I said, no. Why? And she goes, you're going to freeze. I looked at her and goes, I'm not taking the Spyder. She goes, oh. I said, if I was taking the Spyder, I might get as far as like downtown Virginia Beach, and that's about as far as I could go on a day like today. Which is really strange. I talked about this some in the last video. I used to really enjoy pushing myself against the limits of the weather, camping snow, hiking snow. But nowadays, I don't know if it's that I just don't have the tolerance for it, or I know better. I'm not really sure which, but either way, it's better to be in the SUV today than out in the cold. There was also an old saying years ago when I was an active pilot. It is better to be on the ground wishing you were in the air than to be in the air wishing you were on the ground. First thing we're going to do is stop and get a gourmet breakfast at one of my favorite fast food places. Yeah, I know it's bad for you, but I'm going to treat myself today. Well, we made it to the town of Emporia out on US 58. Now we're heading north on US 301 up to State Route 40. State Route 40 is a, well, a road that which one day I would like to take all the way from the start to the finish. It's only a state route, but it does a pretty good job of covering most of the state, as does US 58. It starts on Atlantic Avenue in Virginia Beach and goes within a stone's throw of the Kentucky state line. Kentucky or Tennessee, I forget which, but way down there in the corner. So I may take that in part one of the spring trip. Yeah, the spring trip has got two parts. Part one and part two. Where am I going to go for part one? I have no idea. I'm going to do my best to have some areas that I want to travel to, visit, roads I want to drive on, and not actually plan it out. The only thing I want to plan out is maybe day one and kind of outline day two, and that would take me all the way across the state of Virginia to the end of US 58. And for then, from that point forward, I'm going to wing it. I'm going to be gone a week, 10 days, something like that. Then staying close to home. I had thought about taking a southern tour route, which takes me down to the Gulf of Mexico, over to the Mississippi River, back up to the Natchez Trace, which, by the way, I just happened to stumble across this. The Natchez Trace is a parkway similar to that of the Blue Ridge Parkway, owned and operated by the National Park Service. 400 miles of scenic road, historic scenic road, mostly following an old footpath used by many of the indigenous Americans years ago. But that's another story. I think that's going to be for another time. Anyway, at the end of the 10 days for the spring trip, whatever that time period is, I'm going to come back in and pick up Miriam and the trailer, and then we're going to go north to the Lancaster area, Pennsylvania, which is the Amish country. Spend some time up there. Then it's just a hop, skip, and a jump, about 50-some miles over to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I'm a history buff. Haven't been to Gettysburg in 20-some years. experience that now that I'm more historically aware of the Battle of Gettysburg, and then probably down through the Shenandoah Valley for the return trip. Another a week to 10 days for that one. So the reason I cut the trip short for the not doing the Southern Tour trip is that Miriam's nephew may get married and we have to go to Florida, so we need to set some time in the schedule to make sure we can do that. So doing a total of a month-long trip and then coming back and hitting the road for a week to go to a wedding, just too much to organize. Well, the good news is it's lunchtime and we're coming up on the area where that barbecue restaurant's at. That's what I thought we were going to end up doing. Things that I really savor about travel, especially solo travel. And I'm one of those kind of people that I can travel a lot by myself. I prefer to experience it with others, which is why you guys are here, but I'm okay with doing it by myself. As Steve Martin would say, I don't need an audience. I could do this act alone. I often do. From his stand-up days. Anyway, I digress. The reason one of the reasons, move the microphone around, is that it clears my head. I can think, I can process all the junk that's going on in my life and prioritize it, deal with it, put it away. And for the first couple of hours of the day's trip, I was able to go through everything, dictate some notes, which I'm always wanting to do, and now it's like, I've achieved that goal. So I'm now much more relaxed. I have put my little issues away in the little boxes in my brain, and now I can move on and just enjoy the day. And by the way, we're paralleling Interstate 95, and there's a road sign that says our destination for 95 is just 6 miles away, which may be lunch. That's kind of cool, but we're all still on the side road, which is US 301. Heading north. So this is the place, the Big Pig Barbecue. You can't see the queue, but it's over there. And get ready to try it out. Still got my leftover beverage from breakfast. And some hot coffee, but total expenditure for a small barbecue sandwich with coleslaw, like under $5. If it's good barbecue, it's worth it. Good barbecue is, well, in my estimation, very hard to come by. This is a small, man. There's a lot going on here. Hope it's good. High marks. High marks. Very good North Carolina style barbecue. Coleslaw. Of course, we're only 25 some odd miles north of North Carolina. If you cross the line North Carolina, I'm pretty sure it's like a crime not to have coleslaw with barbecue. Done with today's relaxing lap around Virginia. Did about 165 miles so far, got about 50 left to go, and we're getting ready to enter the congested area of the Hampton Roads area, but it was worth it. You're probably asking yourself, what was the objective of the trip? Well, it was really kind of twofold. Like I said before, I use these drives just to clear my head. I can just process information. I can't overemphasize that. It's sort of like a meditation, because you're busy driving and your mind can still process other tasks. Anyway, at least I can. So it's therapeutic for me. And secondly, I want to go out and find some barbecue. Yeah, I know it's for a 200-mile drive to find barbecue. Well, when I was flying airplanes, there was an activity that it was referred to as the $100 hamburger. People would climb in their airplanes, sometimes take more than one airplane, and they fly off to an airport at a restaurant just to get a hamburger. The finish line was the hamburger, and that was the reward for getting that far. But really, it was about the trip. And really, isn't travel always really just about the trip? You don't really need a reason, but that kind of gives you a purpose. So we used to do that regularly, and yeah, I've eaten quite a few $100 hamburgers. You know, why were they called $100 hamburgers? Well, by the time you paid for the gas for the airplane and set aside your maintenance reserves, your lunch run was $100. But it was worth it. Anyway,
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. So, your dream.
You know, one of those dreams when you wake up and you feel like you're in a happy mood, and you realize.
I get those occasionally.
Yeah, I just we were on the Spyder and it was warm and I could feel the wind in my face, and we were in the mountains, and that's all I really remember. It's just I woke up thinking,
Those days are coming soon. Those days are coming soon.
Let's hope. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up.
If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Feel free to leave a comment below.